So you have a chance to like fucking, oh, the mesh has come up. So if I swing, like that means I might hit something real that's past the mesh. And good VR systems, if you have a lot of space, like you won't see that mesh unless you're walking into it. But for the most part, dude, I would be playing like this game called Gorn. It's like this like arena fighting game where everything is all made out of rubber to like give you a better like game feel. It's really fun. But you would fucking throw a punch and then the mesh would come up as you're like 80% into the punch, and then you would fucking like beat the shit out of your TV screen and you would never notice because you would just be like, here, it's totally good. And now you're bad. And now you're bad. And you're like fucking beating up the wall. And like you would never, it would come up way too late and you just have no chance of fucking
I feel like
figuring out
I've
what's about to happen.
seen that game before.
Yeah, it's really goofy. It's super gory. You can like pick people up and like rip them in half like rubber. The whole concept is everything has the game feel of rubber to like kind of lean into the VR jank. There's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It was a super, super smart game for like how they designed it. Like I enjoyed that one a fuckload. The other one that you've probably seen a shitload of is Sword and Sorcery. That is like as realistic medieval combat as you can get. Like everything has like really hard physics. Everything is about as realistic as you can be. And there are compilations on the internet of people just being unbelievable psychopaths of just murdering each other in the most brutal fucking ways of all time. Like I'm talking like dude comes up behind and fucking does a leg sweep and makes him fall into his own sword and it slices out the back of his throat, kind of like psychotic shit. Or like just picking a guy up and just stabbing him in the chest like 20 times and then throwing his dead body into another person. Like you can get gnarly with it, but it's also really satisfying because like legit you can just feel like the John Wick of swords when you're fucking done with your sword and sorcery session.
I bet that is exactly. I was gonna say I bet that is a fun fucking game for that.
Yeah, it's really satisfying. And the mods are insane too. Like I never got to try out a lot of the mods because I fell out of VR before I popped into it. But you can get some pretty cool Star Wars mods and have like the most realistic Star Wars lightsaber battles you can have in VR. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Nice. All right. Well, one of these days, if I ever decide to get like a MetaQuest or an Apple VR, the Apple VRs are still pretty expensive. So I don't know if I'm going to make that happen.
Yeah, they have not positioned Vision Pro in a way of like gaming oriented. It is very like production value workhorsey. Even then, I actually don't know like how that's doing lately because they really fell off after like 2 years of it being out. Like I really don't hear anything from
after
it.
2 months of it being out, it fell off.
Even then, yeah. But the Steam Frame will be the next big entrance because that's going to be a standalone device. You do not have to have a PC to use a Steam Frame, whatever that gets priced at. But that'll probably
very
be
curious
to try.
See. Yeah, unless it's the 3K.
Yeah, there's no way.
Then,
yeah, it has to be under 1,000. I don't, or exactly at 1,000 because that's what the Valve Index was. And I think Valve has come out and said something of like it will be the successor to the Index, so like priced accordingly with it. And I'm hoping that means cheaper, like by $100, like 900 for the full package, maybe less. Because like when the Index came out, it was 500 for the headset, and then like I think it was like 200 a piece for the controllers, and then like another 200 something for the light stands, which are the LiDAR sensors or the infrared sensors that you have to put up. But this headset is literally just headset controllers. Like it's all in one unit, no cable, kind of like how the Quest is done. So there shouldn't be that extra cost of the light stands being there. So like if you chop those out, should be cheaper, but
yeah,
nobody knows. Yeah.
So I guess let's just roll with the show and then we can talk a little bit more about
this has been a fucking fun cold open. I like cold open, so this is dope. Let's just roll into it. Unless you want to hit us with an intro and then we'll just fucking go from there. But I bet the audience is already sucked in at this point.
We're here. This is Monday Night Mayhem. We're live. We're bringing you the hottest news in gaming. Strap into those ergonomic gaming chairs. We're just going to keep going because now that we're on this VR train, I have some things that I want to get off my chest. Of course, if you like what we do here on JT's Gaming Mayhem, sub to the channel, hit us with a like, comment, all that fun jazz. And of course, you can support us by donating to our Patreon. That's the intro. Back to VR. Okay,
Dope.
so
Yeah,
there's that
what's up?
Batman VR game that came out a couple years ago. I am really curious because apparently it's really short. So I'm really curious if they're going to port that over to like console as well, or just leave it on VR for eternity. But if they port it to console, because there's a bunch of VR games apparently getting ported to like Switch and PlayStation and stuff here recently. And I wonder if they're just gonna like throw it in a package of like, here's an Arkham Origins remaster, because it takes place like directly after Arkham Origins apparently. But now that, yeah, I mean, we're talking about VR, did they make another one and just bundle it?
Yeah, didn't that release exclusively onto the Quest? Is that what was going on with that one? Yeah, that's why I never fucking played it. Yeah, Arkham
it looks
Shadow.
so cool.
Yeah, it got good reviews from what I remember hearing too. But that's kind of the problem with a lot of these VR games as of late, because the Steam VR ecosystem has kind of like slowed down a lot because there hasn't really been a whole new install base. And Steam VR has really been the enthusiast angle of like, there are third-party VR headsets you can get on PC that are like thousands and thousands of dollars. While Quest is like, we're just going to try and get as cheap as we can so we can get as many people into this as possible.
$350 at one point.
Yeah, it was really good. And I have a buddy who is really into VR who wanted me to pick one up, but I was like, yeah, but I have this huge Steam VR library. And at the time, like, I wasn't really looking to start a new digital library. But since then, Steam has released like a Steam Link application on the Metastore, so you can download Steam Link and then go from there. But now Steam Frame is around the corner and Quest 3s aren't really cheap anymore. So I'm kind of like, well, I'm just going to wait and see what Steam Frame is like.
Yeah, the Quest 3 right now is $600.
Yeah, dude, that sucks. Jeez. The fucking price that was at for a while was actually a really, really good deal.
Yeah, you can still get them
really
for
regret missing it.
$350.
Is the used market nice?
Like.
That's not too bad. Yeah, $350 is okay.
That's the 128 gig, so you can't upgrade the memory.
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, 128 is pretty limiting.
Yeah, that's like 2 games.
Depending. Maybe, although VR games are kind of tiny. It might be okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they have to be very optimized to run on a single device. So they're not usually too bad. But there is like a sad fact that VR titles have very low-end graphics. They usually need to compensate because you're rendering the game twice for one for each eye, and the more pixels that you push on each screen to get that like eye view nice and shiny and clear, the harder it is, of course, to render at high frame rates, because there is like a limit to like how low your frame rate can be in VR, or else you're just going to get motion sick and the entire illusion is broken. So you have to like, it's pretty rough. Like you need to render pretty high resolution like goggles while also keep that frame rate above like 90 FPS. I think anything lower starts to feel bad. Like you can get away with 60 on like a normal 2D gaming experience pretty easily, and that feels really smooth. But the second you like move your hand from left to right and it's not at a very consistent like smooth frame rate, your whole head starts to fucking be like, I need to puke. Like something is wrong with me. Yeah. So it's hard. So a lot of games compensate for that by dropping the graphical quality pretty significantly, which sucks because like the whole immersion part of it would be like, yeah, if this looked really real and I was using VR, like that would really sell the illusion. But a lot of games are like stuck in these graphical styles that are like over 10 years old. Yeah. Actually, that's a weird way to put it. Probably more like 20 years old, because games from 2016 look like games that could have come out fucking like yesterday. So we got to go back to like the ceiling
where we're at right now.
Yeah, we are at that ceiling. So like the 20 or 30-year-old video games is probably more accurate.
I wonder if we'll ever get to that place where VR games do really start to push realism. I don't know where the industry is at with VR and like how far they do want to take it, but it is an interesting topic every time it comes up, because so many people are into VR, and I think that's amazing because there's so many good uses for VR gaming, like we were talking about earlier, for physical fitness. if you want to burn some calories, go play Beat Saber on extreme mode or something like
dude,
that.
holy shit. I think some of the hardest I've ever sweat while fucking gaming in my life was playing Beat Saber. That game is pretty fucking intense, especially on the like higher difficulties. It like I thought that fucking like Guitar Hero rate for like the number of things you had to hit on like hard or master was hard. But fuck me, dude, the things you need to pull off in a Beat Saber run, like those guys who are pros and their fingers are just floating around in front of them, and all you see is wrist movements, and then like maybe they juke and dodge. Like I get it, because like you have no time to make any other movement with your body. Like you need to make the smallest adjustment possible to hit whatever the fuck that is. Gets crazy hard.
Pro level Weave Nation expertise.
Dude, it's
right
hilarious.
There.
Yeah, Weave Nation for sure.
Oh man. Well, let's dive into our first topic of the evening. I guess kind of our second topic now. Zach, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, so I've been playing. My head has gone completely blank. Let me pull up the old thing. I have been playing a couple of things here and there. It's really been a lot of Star Wars Battlefront 2 Kyber, because the Kyber like mod manager is really dope. Ball X Pit in between things. I started playing a little bit of Far Far West, which is super fucking cool. And then I also have been playing, of course, more Battlefield 6 and Gray Zone Warfare. I jumped back into pretty recently as well.
Nice.
So like nothing totally outside my normal rotation. But Far Far West is probably the one like new game I haven't like really talked about. I don't know how familiar you are with that game, but that is a crazy fucking little thing.
I don't know. The naming of it sounds like I would know it, but as far as me thinking about it, I couldn't put a like. I'm just thinking of Red Dead Redemption, just because it's far and west.
So I don't think it's anywhere else other than on Steam right now. It's made by a pretty tiny group of people. There's only like a total like 8 developers making this thing.
This looks cool.
Shine Games is their publisher. I'm not sure what else they might have published that you could be aware of.
It looks like robots.
Yeah, so the theming is kind of sick. So it's robots in a cowboy setting, but also embedded with like spiritual magic and stuff. So like it plays out, the mission structure plays out like Helldivers. So you get dropped off in like a little open world with a bunch of side objectives that you could go complete, but you also have like a main objective that has to get tackled. And then there's different enemy types and different factions that have different abilities, and you have to handle them with your stuff in like interesting ways. The setting and the game feel though are like the big draws for me. Like the fucking menu system feels unbelievably good for some reason. Like they put a lot of effort into pressing buttons, so like every action you take has like 20 layers of feedback. And then the music is a ton of fun, and you can spawn a horse anytime you want to ride across the map, and everything is like fully customizable for like horse cosmetics and character stuff. The big draw though is like, I think the game is literally like, how much is it? It's pretty cheap. So yeah, it's fucking $20, 0 microtransactions at all. The only way you unlock anything in the game, even the cosmetic stuff, is by playing the game. So it's pretty tiny asking price for a shit ton of polish and quality for like not a whole lot of fucking work. Like it's pretty cool. Like I really like it. The theming is fun. The gameplay is fun. It is like Helldivers is like probably the best way I can explain its like base mission structure, plus like a couple other things with some weird Borderlands-y elements on top here and there. And it's fun. Yeah. It's a really fucking fun time.
I pulled up one of the trailers, and the top comment on their like YouTube page for the early access launch trailer is, "Get this to console with crossplay and my friendship is yours."
Yeah.
This does look like a lot of fun though.
It's cool. It's a really cool game. Yeah. And it's the fun part. I'm a huge Witcher 3 fan, right? So like there's weird little Easter eggs and references to Geralt and Roach like all over the thing. So my brain got really happy when I got to see what the horse was named. And you can unlock a skin that's like called Geralt or something, and it's like just the Witcher. Like it's cool. So it's made by a very small team, and yeah, it's really, really, really polished. It runs amazing. Like I'm fucking crushing the frame rate on this thing, by more than like what even is necessary. So it's fucking fun. It's an awesome time.
Yeah, this is a game that I could definitely see if it does pop up on console that I would definitely be into.
Yeah, I would hope so eventually. It is a tiny team, so if they were going to come to console, I wouldn't be shocked if they had to like outsource that part to somebody else, because it's literally just like 8 devs. Like these guys aren't doing very much. But it's fun. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah, especially because I'm kind of like, I won't say I'm like itching for that Borderlands experience, but I definitely want that Borderlands like style game that I can jump into, and I don't really have that right now. Dead Zone Rogue is fun. That's like the shooter that I'm going back to here and there, but it's not what I would like want from like a full on like RPG experience where I'm like looting, and also I can just call up a buddy and say, "Hey, hop on Borderlands. Like, let's just go do a run for an hour or something like that real quick." And we get that
it's
full
not
experience.
the same mission structure as Borderlands. It's not like an open RPG looter shooter. Like you pick your class, you pick your spells, you pick your weapons, and then you drop in, and then you do your best to like get through the mission structure. But it definitely, in terms of art style and some of the feel here and there, like it kind of does fit that same Borderlandsy vibe of like westerny cartoon. But yeah, game structure is really, really similar to Helldivers, which is fun because you'll roll up on locations and then there's just a weird puzzle that you have to solve, which could be like activating all of these like knobs so that you drill into the ground properly. And then when you're done drilling, it will bury itself into the ground and start running through the entire open world and knock itself into the boss. And now you can go fight the boss because it like fucking ran into it.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do because I was like, all right, so like maybe it opens a hole. But no, I just kept going, and then I saw it tunneling underground, and you have to follow it to the boss location, and then you like activate it one more time to start the boss fight. Yeah, because so there's a boss fight at the very end of every mission, and then after that, you have to get back to your train to extract, and then you start all over again. So it's fun. It's a good time.
Do love my boss fights. So
yeah, very fun.
Get that. You know, that's something I could see popping up in like a indie world showcase or just randomly.
Yeah, they might have been in something like that. Yeah, they totally could have. They fucking like launched on Steam, and I think they sold like 500,000 copies on day one or something. They announced it to everybody. They were doing good. Yeah, here it is. So 2 weeks ago when they launched, it was 500,000 copies sold. So, they broke 1 million 12 hours ago. So word of mouth is working, dude. They're getting popular.
Gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta be one of those games that appears on console later this year or something. I could see this popping up before the holiday season.
I only have 2 gripes, and that is the horse controls are whack, and the first gun that you get is kind of boring. I haven't grinded enough to get off the other ones because the only way you get other guns is by getting these drops called weapon fragments. You're guaranteed a weapon fragment drop after the end of every boss fight, which is nice. But there are other drops that you could get from doing like side objectives. And the horse controls are like they're all mouse steering, which is what I love. But if you try to strafe left or right, you just run in a perfect circle in that direction for some reason. So like, I don't know if that's bugged where if I hold right, I can run right and look where I'm going, but you just like continue to rotate. So like you can't touch the A or D keys at all. Or if you're going to turn, you have to like tap it constantly. But other than that, everything else is a shit ton of fun. That's the only 2 like critiques I have for the game so far. Everything else is fucking super cool.
You in every like first person game that I've played that has horse controls, they've always been ass, and it's only in first person like games like that.
Yeah,
but
I think
third person,
Far Cry 6 was the best horse controls I think I've ever used, but that's because they finally wised up to the fact that you should just decouple the fucking direction that your horse is moving from your mouse, so you have like perfect 1-to-1 steering. It doesn't really make. I think from what I remember about Far Cry 6 horse controls is it's almost like you're just driving a car. They like really didn't change it that much. And I don't remember what Red Dead 2's horse controls were like in first person. It's been such a long time since I played that game.
You know what game would probably have dope ass horse controls? Cyberpunk, because The Witcher had dope ass horse controls.
Yeah, probably.
And driving in Cyberpunk feels great. That's honestly probably my favorite thing about that game. It was the driving.
And you're experiencing it at the end of all of the updates because, dude, the driving was shit when it first came out. It was not good. Man. But now all of the buffs to like friction and like tuning to steering and everything, it's like when you pull off the perfect drift around a corner in Cyberpunk at an intersection that you should not be fucking running right now, it feels awesome. But way back when it was not like that. It was so bad.
You know what's crazy is because people will talk about the driving in GTA and how fluid it feels in GTA. And I'm that person where I don't like the driving in GTA.
Yeah, I think I like it in 5. I don't think I really like it in 4. Like 4 feels too slippery to me.
Yeah.
But 5 I thought was decent. Like I thought it was better. Like funny that we're talking about driving controls because I was also playing Forza Horizon 5 a little bit last week to kind of like get myself ready for Forza 6. Yeah. And I still think Forza has like the best driving controls out of any game I've played. I know there's some racing fans out there right now that are like keyboard warrioring this because people have their opinions, but that one's my favorite. I really love drifting in Forza 6. I think or Forza 5. I'm sure 6 probably is going to feel great too, but it's good.
It's got a 92 on Meta right now. And man. I haven't looked up anything about that game because I don't want to get tempted. I'm just
to go buy an Xbox.
Yeah, if I did that, that'd be like committing the greatest sin of all time against myself.
It'd be pretty funny. I mean, you would like effectively be like, "There's no games on Xbox." Oh, I bought an Xbox to play games, so you'd be getting sucked in.
Yeah, Xbox is dead to me. If they decide to bring Scalebound back, that's when I'll be like, okay, I'll go get an Xbox. But we all know that ain't happening. But I'll wait and see if they decide to bring that one over to Switch because it seems like Indiana Jones is doing really well and plays great on Switch, which I might pick that. I'm going to wait until that goes on sale before I pick that up. But I'm curious about Forza. 6 looks awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pre-order it and I wasn't going to bite the bullet on Forza 6, but then I started playing Forza 5 a little bit again and I remember just how like good that game feels and how beautiful it is. And then I remembered how much fucking fun I had playing 5, and then the last nail in the coffin was they released their launch trailer and I was like, all right, I genuinely got really fucking excited listening to that. Because it's this fun, like, song of, like, I can't wait to see you. And then they're just fucking drifting, like, shit around corners and the world looks gorgeous. And I'm like, the cars don't look that much better than they do in Forza 5.
Yeah.
But the world in Forza 6 looks, like, way more detailed and more impressive than it did. And there's also a way better progression system coming around this time. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'm in the mood to play a Forza game, and this is fucking super getting me excited, so I'm here for it.
I heard that soundtrack because they actually have like some Japanese stations that play some city pop and stuff on there.
Yeah, they were playing some city pop on the launch trailer. Yeah, and I heard that and I was like, I'm so here for these vibes, dude. Like, this is fucking awesome here. They did a great job. So I'm super curious about it, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh, you're getting it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's
an early access. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So people are playing it hard right now because, that dude, that's an interesting topic to segue to either way. Fucking, did you see the amount of people that are playing it right now through early access?
Like, it's
the early access version is like it's like $120 to play fucking Forza 6, and it's like launch level numbers of people are playing fucking Forza 6 right now. Like that many people jumped in early, dude. Like it is crazy.
That's some excitement. So I could definitely see when this game drops on PlayStation, it's going to do numbers because we know it's dropping on PlayStation
already doing
later this
fucking
year.
Numbers. Yeah,
and it's like you said, already doing numbers right now. That's insane. 180,000 people playing in early access for the $120. It shows you people. You put out a game that people really want, people will show the fuck up for it and they will not bitch. They might bitch, but they're going to show up. If you give them a product that they want, they'll be there no matter what.
Yeah.
And I was of the mind before all this news happened that the $80 game was done. I think this is only the beginning, to be completely honest, because people like these companies are going to look at that and be like, these motherfuckers showed up for $120. It's probably over 3 million people have bought this game in early access. And that is definitely going to paint a picture next year in 2027 when we have not even early access, $80 games are just the norm.
Yeah, and we're going to get a fucking GTA 6 hitting like $120 for an early access month or something. Like, I think this kind of cements that you can do early access that hard and people will show up. And I think GTA might have just saw that and gone, you know what? We are the most anticipated video game of the decade. So I think we can fucking get away with this. And they probably will.
Yeah.
They probably will.
Let's use this to segue into the news, because I'm not playing anything super interesting that I haven't been playing. I'm still playing Mario Galaxy, Kena Bridge of Spirits, and later this week, Tales of Arise. I'll talk to you guys about that at the end of the show, though. Let's talk about the news, because you brought up GTA 6 and it's early access. So story number one of the evening, apparently GTA 6, they are not going to send out review codes for it. My question to you, Zach, is do you think this game even goes into early access? Or do you just think it comes out with the tiered pricing? You get it November 19th of $80 for the basic standard, $100 for a deluxe, and $150 for a super deluxe. Do you think that happens?
I can still see that. I think the early access would be like the way it's done with Forza, where that super deluxe package is the early access one, and they're going to like tier you up all the way into that thing, and then that's how it will roll out. Like, I didn't think that it would be that big of a deal, but with how like Forza is popular, but it's like not like earth-shatteringly popular the way that GTA can be. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is how it's going to roll. I didn't even have that idea in me like initially, but now seeing how fucking Forza is getting away with like that large of a player base in an early access period, like you literally get the hottest game of the decade in front of people like that, they are going to fucking pay early just to play it a month early or like a couple weeks early, because people want to be there. They don't want the FOMO. And so it's going to happen. It's going to work.
Yeah. I'm convinced that when GTA 6 comes out, that entire week, you might as well just shut down your business. Don't go outside. Don't do anything, because the world's just going to be paused, it feels like, for that entire week that game is available. So 180,000, I would not be surprised. And this game's only going to be on console for that initial launch period. But I would not be surprised if, even on console, that we're seeing player counts of 2 million per console day one. So I just don't see how anything functions after this game comes out.
I think we're gonna see fucking like close to fucking like 15 million per console, like something insane. I think it's gonna get really, really high, because what is the numbers for fucking Fortnite just recently like dropped?
It's like 14 million.
Yeah, it's like 14 for just PlayStation, because we don't know what they have on Xbox, and we're not super confident of what they have on PC, I think. Although Epic might release the player numbers on PC. I don't totally know. But yeah, I think it's going to be real high on both of them. Like, I don't think it's going to, because I think there's a huge casual base of people that just don't really touch video games that much. And I think that those are the people that are going to drive those numbers up. So we're going to be, because like I've heard from so many people that have like, yeah, I bought a PlayStation 5 just to play GTA 6 when that drops. Or like, oh, I haven't purchased a console yet. I'm just waiting for GTA 6 and then I'm going to get that and just play that. And there's a huge group that are doing that exact thing. So I think we're about to see like a surge of randoms that just like don't really fucking sit in the core gaming space. They're going to show up en masse to this thing.
I just don't know, because we got PlayStation's updated financial numbers here recently, and they're sitting at about 93 million consoles sold. I am very curious how much more this spikes PlayStation's numbers.
Because that's hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah. You already have so many people in the ecosystem right now who are probably just waiting on GTA, or probably saw that target May 2025 launch day, or just bought a console during the peak time during the pandemic and was like, yeah, like I know I'm going to get something that I want eventually, because let's be honest, we all buy consoles based on the promise sometimes. I just don't know if you get another, I mean, I guess you could probably get another 10 million people to buy a PlayStation 4 GTA. It almost seems like Xbox has dried up their numbers, but I mean, they could have a resurgence as well when this game comes out. Only time will really tell, but I think it's very interesting that Rockstar is not going to send out review codes for this game.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know exactly what the thought is behind that, because often not wanting to send out review codes means that your game is not that great and you're trying to like hide stuff behind the scenes. There are a few instances though where I can see where not sending out review codes didn't really matter. Like I think they didn't for like Doom the Dark Ages, or I think Doom Eternal might have been similar. Like Bethesda is kind of, or not Bethesda, id Software is kind of well known to like withhold review copies, but then the game launches and it's a fucking 10 out of 10 and then everyone's like, why did you do that? Like this should have been in people's faces sooner. So who knows? Like it could just genuinely be like they might just not care because they know the game is going to sell insanely well anyways, and they don't see the risk of like getting leaks out there. They might just not trust the review processes because the leaks have been harmful to people, whether they like it or not. Like people are
absolutely.
When you have a marketing strategy behind it, like you don't want shit to go get talked about early, like whether or not it is fun for the fans to like see that stuff sooner than they're supposed to. But like if you are a company and you spent like millions and millions and millions of dollars of like figuring out a strategy to set a narrative for your product, leaks are like the bane of your fucking existence, because that undoes that entire conversation you were about to set up. And so like I get it. So maybe they feel that's where it gets rooted in, is they just don't want like anybody to possibly fucking leak this thing ahead of time, and they're more confident in the product and they would rather that they have the final say before the public gets to join in the conversation.
I think this game's gonna have some pretty racy shit in it.
That too. That's also possible. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's fucking Grand Theft Auto. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's going to make some people mad, of course, because GTA always does. Yeah. And I think a mix of the not wanting to leak, the racy shit, and then, of course, the people who are going to get mad about some of the things in this game because of all that. I also think that probably it's going to piss off this presidential administration. Let's just call it that as well. I think there's going to be some shit in there that pokes fun at that. Not to get political or anything, but I could see a number of things happening, and this game is going to create a lot of talk, a lot of controversy, like all GTA games do. I don't think 5 was just goofy, and I think that was kind of the big talk of it. But I think this game is going to lean a little bit more serious just based off of the trailers that we've gotten. Even though there is still going to be that goofy shit in there also. But there's just going to be so much. This game's going to suck up a lot of air. And man, I kind of wish it was coming out during another election term, because that would be something.
Yeah. I kind of wish that it was like not coming out alongside the fucking madness of now. But yeah, I didn't think about that angle at all. Yeah, that's super true. It probably does have some like poke fun gestures going off on a couple of directions, and also it is GTA, of where it is commonly known that a fun gameplay loop is to pick up a hooker and kill her. So like somebody's gonna be upset about the freedom the player gets one way or another.
And it's gonna be that talk of somebody new who is reviewing this game who's not really either played a GTA game before or not remembering that you could do certain things in previous GTA games.
Yeah.
So, yeah. we'll see. But like you were talking about earlier, I think this game's really going to blow up, and man, it's going to be crazy. I'm just waiting on them to reveal what that price tag is for it. That is going to be an interesting day online because it's either going to be 70 or 80, and I think either way it swings, it's going to create a lot of talk.
Yeah. Are you shocked that today the fucking trailer 3 didn't come out and pre-orders didn't go live?
No.
Yeah, me neither. When I started hearing those rumors like over the weekend, I was like, no, that's not happening. I think the next time we see GTA 6 is at like Summer Games Fest or something. I think that's going to show up anywhere else.
From what I heard today, we're not going to hear about it until July.
When is Summer Games Fest? Is it in June? It's in June.
We're like 2 weeks away from Summer Games Fest.
Yeah. So like that's not happening. All right, then it's not fucking going around. I wonder when they're gonna. They don't need to be in a platform like for anything. When they dropped trailer 2, they just dropped it, and the whole internet lost their minds for like fucking 4 days. So
exactly,
they don't need to be anywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna generate buzz. They could drop trailer 3 2 weeks before the game comes out, and that's when pre-orders could go live. And I think it's still gonna sell 20 million copies day one.
It's unbelievably fucking popular. It will be crazy.
Yeah, there's 2 games that I believe can create that much excitement and buzz. One of them, the quality of those games has not been what it should be the last couple of Actually, the last entry was really good. But Pokemon and Grand Theft Auto are the only 2 games that can do that. And maybe kind of almost getting there is Animal Crossing, but we'll see.
I think Elder Scrolls 6 might be the one other thing that I can think of between those 2. Yeah. But like, I know a lot of people got really into Crimson Desert who were like Elder Scrolls fans waiting for fucking Elder Scrolls 6 to happen. And so I think those guys are a little happy right now. I think they're still eating Crimson Desert just fine. But there's a lot of people who are like, I don't play video games that often, but Skyrim was generational for me, and I'll buy a console when fucking the next one comes out.
That's true. Yeah. There's people that anytime Skyrim gets announced for a new console,
they're like,
they get the new console.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, I got a quick question before we get into our actual second topic. Is it because you brought up Crimson Desert, and GTA 6, of course, is going to be in the Game of the Year conversation. Do you think people are going to get upset that Crimson Desert doesn't get nominated? Because we know it's not, just based off its Metacritic score. But a game like Mixtape might make it in.
Yeah, dude. The conversation around Mixtape is pretty fucking crazy to begin with. So I think there will be some pretty pissed off people one way or another. Yeah. Although the more that I hear about Mixtape, the more I'm like, this seems like fucking somebody got Kojima's wish all the way across the finish line, where it's like 80% movie and like 20% video game. So like, I don't really know what's going on there. I'm sure it's not bad, but I've heard that there's a significant lack of failure states in Mixtape. So like the stakes from the player are incredibly low, even if a ton of stuff is quite fun and interactive. But I also have not played it myself, and I also do think I would probably enjoy it because I am a huge music fan. There's a fucking 2 guitars behind me right now. So like I probably would have a great time with that game, but it just sounds like the gameplay is not totally there. But yeah, that game is turning anger in a way that I don't get. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with, like, every time I see a game, even if I know it's not for me and it gets like a 9, I'm like, awesome. That's a game in a genre that kicks ass. Like, I want every video game that comes out, whether I like it or not, to be amazing. Because like,
exactly,
that means there's more opportunities for me to enjoy stuff everywhere. So like, people being really pissed off that Mixtape is getting high scores, even though it's a video game you would never play. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand at all. Like, not everything is for you. Exactly. Leave it alone. Like, what's going on?
If it's not for you, then go find something that is for you. It's not that hard. There's 1,000,000,005 games on Steam right now.
Yeah, I really don't understand And if you're upset with like a review outlet of yours being quite hypocritical of like giving that a 9 and something else that should have deserved a 9 got like a 6, then sure, we can argue that point, but like making it your life's goal for the next month to shit on a video game for getting a 9 out of 10 is like, what are you doing? Like, legit, what was the point of like whatever the criticism was, like, sure, but like, why not just move on and find something you enjoy? Like, I don't understand the perspective behind it at all. Like, I see a video game come out in a genre and people give it great scores, and I'm like, I don't really care about that game, and then I go play something I do like. What's the focus here? What are you actually mad at? I don't understand.
The only time I am willing to give a video game like shit about its review scores is when the publisher or developer talks all this mad shit about it, like Starfield, and then it comes out and it just kind of is like,
that kind of sucks, and it's pretty good. But for me, it's honestly like I can dog on individual reviewers for giving bullshit scores, like IGN giving Call of Duty like 9s every single fucking year is like, okay, dude. Like, clearly, these are all amazing production quality video games, but at the end, like, they're the same video game. Like, shouldn't these be more in a 6 or a 7 category? Like, they're okay. Like, these are Bs. Like, legit. You can't say they're fucking, like, innovative and masterclass every fucking time, because as a fan of the series, I enjoy Call of Duty from time to time, but let's be honest, they are not fucking 10 out of 10s. That's not what's happening here. So, like,
unless they just do something groundbreaking, there's something new
which
every
happens
time.
Every now and then, which can happen, and it's not easy and it's hard. And there are some Call of Duty games which I do think are fucking like A+ quality titles, but like not every single one of them is. But like fucking, so if you're upset about the mixtape review scores due to hypocrisy of your favorite review outlet, like, I can understand some of that. But I see a lot of stuff on Twitter that's like, fuck this game for just being what it is. And I'm like, why? I actually don't get. And like, you could just move on. Like, the negativity of the world has gotten so fucking high on the most minuscule stuff that I don't get it. Like, it just makes everything feel worse for no reason at all. And I really don't understand why that's the way the world is.
Yeah, that's another thing, that to not go off on like a super tangent from this, but also just like you said, the negativity of the world, it's gotten way too out of control, and it honestly makes no sense. I saw somebody put up a video about other YouTubers attacking other YouTubers, and I just want to like speak on that real quick, because you never know what somebody's going through mentally or what they're like struggling with. And if you put out a video, like, YouTube could be a sacred space for somebody to come and release something where this is about them. This is their platform to get that off their chest. If they're not spewing hatred themselves or anything racist or anything crazy, but you feel the need to go attack them because you disagree with a topic that they were expressing something on, especially about video games, fuck off and get a life, please. There's no room for hate to go attack these people just so they can, you know, get their jimmies off. And for people to shit on somebody else in the comments, like, what are we doing? Like, it's time for everybody to start doing better. Like, let's start bringing community to the video game space instead of bringing hatred to it. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, it sounds like you fucking found a whole rabbit hole of a situation going on.
Yeah, it's somebody that I really respect and care for get attacked by other people on YouTube. And she has a very big channel, and I'm not going to speak on it here, but you guys might already know who I'm talking about if you watch our content. But let's do better. Let's spread some positivity out there, and more people should honestly try these. This isn't a sponsorship, by the way. This is just a good ass protein bar. More people should go try these and feel some joy from that.
Yeah, make your shit happy. I think the last thing I want to say on this before we move on is, like, there is a difference between like criticism and like accurate, respectful, constructive criticism and just being a dick because you don't like something. Yep. And like, there is a whole lot more of like being a dick than going like, I don't like this. This is why, and I'm moving on. And there, for some reason, is not a whole lot of that. Now, I don't know. There also, this is, I guess, the last thing I'll say on this. I do this all the fucking time because my head is a fucking barrel rocket ship through the universe with 20,000 thoughts all in one day. Like, it could be also hate botting, because we do know a significant portion of the internet is made up of engagement bots that are trying to fucking rile people up all the time. This is fact. I wish it wasn't. So there might be a very significant group of people on this whole mixtape topic that literally don't exist, and they're just here to fuck with everybody all the time, because there was a moment about 5 years ago when I noticed some fucking gaming community spaces that were very chill turn real sour for absolutely no reason. And now it seems like everywhere I look, I'm seeing a lot of negativity online. And I think that a lot of the reason that this has shifted so hard might be because that these people don't exist and we're living through dead internet theory. So, like, I don't know, man. It could just be that this whole controversy about mixtape is absolutely fucking nothing burger and these people aren't real. So, like, I don't know. Because the times have gotten very strange, and there is a huge amount of AI internet traffic just making fucking comments online. And like, that's all of these bots do. So there's a good chance that the reason the internet feels so bad is because the AI are just trying to get you to click. And I think about that one all the time when I see some negative shit online now. I'm like, is this a real guy? Because, like, I literally just said I like toast. Like, what are we shitting on me for? Like, I don't understand. Yeah. Like, most inconsequential shit ever, and I got 5 hate comments today. So, like, what is happening?
Yeah, usually, like, whenever because I mean, Twitter and Facebook are kind of like the same types of social media, and being involved in gaming group chats, which shouldn't even be a thing, but groups exist on Facebook. There's tons of groups for literally everything. For people who just want to congregate, ask people different opinions about things, get perspectives. There's a ton of that just in these groups. And anytime I like say something and somebody just tries to like feed negativity into it, I'm just like, cool, man. Hope you had like a good lunch today. And then it catches them so off guard. They're just like, you didn't respond to the comment. You don't get a response if you're just going to come at me with negativity. Like, that's how that is. You're just going to get some fucking kindness, and I'm going to tell you to go enjoy some fucking Skittles and sunshine at that point.
Yeah,
because
you're
if you're not here to
way
be
better job of that than I am.
Like, but it's like you said, you gotta, if you lean in with like some constructive criticism of why you don't like X, Y, and Z, I'm going to respond to that a little bit better than you just saying, fuck you for liking Xenoblade or whatever. And I'm just like, well, now you can just, I'm going to respectively tell you to kiss my ass in the nicest way possible.
Yeah. See, you were killing them with kindness for a little while on Reddit. I was fucking agitating people more, where like, I was like, you know what? Like, I know this guy is wrong and I'm going to fucking get him for it. And I would just brutally fucking destroy him in the comments. And then I would sit there and I would think like, I did definitely prove that guy wrong, and he stopped responding because I know he knows that every time I fucking say something, I'm going to rip him to pieces over his stupidity, but I don't feel any better for this. So like, I've stopped. And so I used to be that dick who just fought hard for a while. But now it's like, you know what? Like, I would just ruminate about this conversation for like weeks, and this isn't doing me any justice. So I'm just shutting up at this point, or I just move on.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Like, you just, there's been times where I've witnessed people have fucking meltdowns over something in a Discord server or a Facebook group chat. And I'm just like, y'all, this ain't that serious. Like, we can have fun.
What is really hurting you right now?
Let's move to the next topic, please.
Yeah. But anyways, speaking of next topics, let's get off this train. What was the second thing that we gotta talk about?
Well, because like Carson always says, we never do tangents on this show. So that was your tangent, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we never do tangents. You got that one today.
Infamous is apparently coming back. This was credited and sourced by Radic over on YouTube. He found some stuff from Jordan Miller from VGC saying that apparently there is an Infamous project in development at PlayStation. We don't know what side of PlayStation. It's not Sucker Punch. Apparently,
that's crazy. That's not Sucker Punch.
Apparently, Sucker Punch wants nothing to do with any of their old games that they worked on. I'm going to pull up the article real quick. They want to be that studio that's kind of like they hit it and quit it, the one and done. They want to get the game out, maybe do a sequel, and then move on. But they've really become a one-game studio at this point. So I think after Ghosts, they've moved on at this point.
Yeah, you're probably right now to think about it, because looking at their track record, because it was Sly Cooper, Infamous, Ghost of Tsushima, and now we've got fucking Ghost of Yotei. Did they do Infamous Second Son, or was that another gang that made that? I don't remember.
They did Second Son as well. Yeah.
Okay,
so they did a trilogy
for it. Yeah, that's so wild though, that fucking PlayStation. I mean, like, I'm not super surprised that is where they're kind of taking it, because when you think about PlayStation and the eras that they've had and how they've there's a whole PlayStation mascot identity that's from like PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 that did not carry over to the end of PlayStation 3, and then by the end of PlayStation 3 they are like character action cinematic studios and stuff. But it just fucking kills me when PlayStation higher C-suite executives come out and they say, we don't have any fucking intellectual property for us to use. And then I turn around and I see the 20 years worth of history and fun games that they made, and they just do not revive any of that stuff for whatever reason. Infamous being one of those ones that I love very much in particular. Infamous 2 is a fucking awesome video game. So that's cool, but why don't they hand some of that stuff off more often? So if Sucker Punch doesn't want to be a one-trick pony, all power to them, because they've genuinely proved that they are not. They've made multiple categories and done really well in each of them. But then Sony, hand that stuff off to somebody else. So if it's getting made by another studio, I'm curious how that feels going to continue. I'm excited for it because I've been wanting to see more Infamous for a long time, but that also makes me wonder, I guess that could be the end of Ghost too, huh? They might just go do another thing.
Yeah, it seems like Ghost is done at this point. I got the article pulled up. Infamous is reportedly getting a revival on PS5. It seems like it's just going to be a remake of the first two games. Which... that's cool, because the first two Infamous games are great games, so those should get the remake treatment if they're going to do any of them. But where does that kind of... I guess Second Son you could still go play, but we've seen this from PlayStation. They're not opposed to remastering PS4 or even PS5 games. So maybe they'll go and remaster Second Son after they get these two off the ground. But I think they honestly should lean more into the Infamous IP, because they could have had just a whole suite of superhero games instead of using the Spider-Man license. But Spider-Man sells. Let's be honest, that's Marvel's most popular character. So I can understand why they would do that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not surprised that that's the route that Sony took when it came to PlayStation and superhero video games. Of course you own the Spider-Man license, you're going to use the Spider-Man license. As much as I love Infamous, look, Spider-Man is way more popular than Infamous at the end of the day. Infamous is kind of a core gaming niche at this point. It's not this huge mass market guy. But dude, you know what's also really disappointing about this? The other news that kind of came out a little while ago of them, I think it was literally today, it's been confirmed that PlayStation is no longer releasing their single player games on PC. They're only going to be on console exclusive. So damn it, bro. There is a whole second half of this fucking PlayStation 5 generation I'm not going to get to touch. So I don't think I'm going to buy a PlayStation anytime soon. That's probably just done for me. I'm not going to get to see any of the stuff that Sony does.
If they come out with a handheld, do you think that'd be something to get you to go back?
Maybe. It'd have to be the right price, but at the same time, I like to experience games in as high of quality as humanly possible. That's why I have the gaming PC that I do. Because I've realized many of these things, I think I've said that, I said this in my last generation of gamers videos. Like, I don't have enough time these days to go back and replay stuff. So like, if I'm going to play a game, like I want to play it as best as humanly possible. I want the best experience that I can have before I move on to whatever the next thing is. So like getting all of these PlayStation exclusives onto a tiny little handheld that's learned to like optimize it for the handheld, like it's cool. There are plenty of games that run well on handheld, but like handheld is not the most high-end experience. And I would want to experience these crazy cinematic video games at like 4K 60 FPS. So I'd have to get like a PlayStation Pro. And I do not have it on the wish list for a PlayStation Pro right now. I'm trying to fucking get a Steam machine somehow. So like, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, it's kind of... It's weird to think about why they are wanting to come out with a handheld. I get it from we lost the Japanese market. Let's try to get it back. But I think it's so far gone at this point where it's like you've already cannibalized what you can do in Japan. And now you want to get back into the good graces. It doesn't make sense to me because just keep doing what you're doing and eat on what you got. And then come out with good games in Japan for your actual box. That's going to get them to show up more. Not saying, oh, we're just going to get this handheld out and it's going to be able to play PlayStation 5 games and PS4 games. I think people are going to look at that and be like, well, there's no exclusive software for it. And if I do want the true, like you said, the people who buy PlayStations usually want a high-end gaming experience. Some of them don't care because they're just playing Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA every year. But majority of them are going to want that experience. They're going to want high fidelity. They're going to want games at 4K 60. And the people who would want to buy a PlayStation handheld could be that casual market. And I don't know. I don't see them eating into Nintendo's pockets with that. I just don't understand with memory costs and everything why they want to do it handheld. It'd be interesting for somebody like me who likes that stuff, but I'm so far gone into the ecosystem. I counted my Switch games the other day. I have 304 Switch games. I'm not buying another console at this point.
Yeah, you're pretty just sucked in.
Yeah, it's you got to put it on Switch, or I just am gonna have to miss out right now. It's weird to you think about with Sony and everything because you brought up identity. I really feel like their identity was during the PlayStation 3 generation when they had all these different IPs and they had Uncharted, Infamous, Ratchet and Clank, even Sly Cooper showed back up on the PS3, God of War, all these different franchises, and that was PlayStation's identity. Looking at it in 2026, couldn't tell you what their identity is. Spider-Man, but that's Marvel.
Yeah, so it's Spider-Man and it's just PlayStation 4 Part 2, but that doesn't feel distinct enough because half of the shit that was supposed to come out this generation was live service and got canceled because they all bet too hard on something that only works for a very, very few. Yep. I think you probably would be one of the only people I know that genuinely would be well done in the market of needing a PlayStation handheld if it had come out well. Because I know there are so many like AAA games that don't come to Switch 2 or would come to PC that you would be like, oh, this is totally for me. Mm-hmm. I also think that the PlayStation handheld does actually make a shit ton of sense in Japan in particular because those guys have a much different culture when it comes to gaming, and the Switch being as popular as it is like a direct line from how popular the DS was and the GBA and the Game Boy were in Japan. And so like their culture is way more geared towards like gaming on the go in that way. But they're, like you said earlier, though, the lineup of PlayStation doesn't really match what those guys are playing. So, like, unless PlayStation is, like, going to really lean on some third-party stuff to, like, fill those JRPG niches that everybody loves, I don't see it really taking off very much. Because, like, you can have hardware out there, right? But like without the software, there's no reason to buy the hardware, and that's where fucking Xbox is, and that's where PlayStation kind of is, but there still is better software out there for PlayStation than there is for Xbox. So like, unless PlayStation has a whole software catalog that we're not privy to that's about to drop that would complement that handheld very well, I don't think it's going to matter very much.
Yeah, I don't know what else that they could come out unless they'd have to honestly lock in another Final Fantasy as an exclusive when we know Square Enix isn't doing that.
Yeah, no, they've learned their lesson. So I don't think Final Fantasy's exclusivity shit is still gonna to last. But like, I don't know, like maybe the current software lineup that they have out there right now is something that Japanese players would be into. But just what I know, like culturally, those guys would fuck with a handheld way more than they would fuck with a big box. So like, unless the handheld is like got hybrid capabilities in some way, then I don't really see it like taking off.
Yeah, that's another thing, because what if it doesn't? And what if like to get the full PlayStation experience, you got to get the handheld, which, let's be honest, is probably going to come out at a price point of $700.
No, yeah, it'd be pricey.
If even that. And then you got to get the box. I'll also be honest, I'm expecting the PlayStation 6 to be around $1,000. Yeah. So it's, man, there's going to be those people out there that are diehard PlayStation fans that say, I got to get it all. And they spend $2,000 just to get the PlayStation experience fully. I'm not knocking them for it, but that's a lot to ask up front for 2 different items. And why not just do another Portal, I guess, at this point?
Well, I don't know. The Portal is like, I think it's a cool experiment. It definitely doesn't fit the niche that people like need it to for a handheld gaming space. Yeah, it's like people like the ice see. Yeah.
Hold on.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you're back.
Now I'm back. Okay, Riverside's breaking because everything on my end is coming okay. Hope you coming in clear for me, but yeah. So the Portal, I just don't think people really care that much about cloud streaming in the core gaming space. So like, I don't think that was ever going to work out the way that it should have. Like, cool idea to like have a piece of dedicated hardware that way. Somebody somewhere someday is going to figure out how to homebrew the fuck out of that thing, and there's going to be really cool weird shit you can do with it homebrew wise. Yeah, but like nobody now is gonna go like, I need a fucking Portal in my hands so I can play my game on my other couch. Because like, I'm already gaming on my couch. Like, if it was a hybrid console, very different scenario. But it's like, well, that's what the Switch is, and people treat the Switch very differently than they would a Portal. But the Portal, I don't think, is really offering anything that like other companies are doing better or doing worse, I guess.
I agree. Let's move on from this. I guess we'll see Infamous. Maybe Summer Games Fest is right around the corner. There's an Infamous project that could be announced here pretty soon. I would like to see this thing sooner rather than later, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. The fucking PlayStation needs to figure out how to pad out its year and not just rely on GTA 6 to carry it forward for the rest of the couple of months.
Well, they got Wolverine coming out.
Yeah, they do, but I'm significantly less excited for it knowing that fucking it's not coming to PC. Like, I just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. All right, let's talk a little bit about Nintendo. We talked about Xbox, we talked about PlayStation. We got to talk about Nintendo as well, because they've been making the I won't say making the rounds, but there's been a lot of interesting things that have happened. And their space, of course, with the price increase and Star Fox. And now we got reports that they're going to show up for Gamescom. And I believe that this puts some interesting implications of what their software lineup for the rest of the 2026 is going to be. Because Gamescom is in August, I believe. So by that time, Star Fox will be out. Splatoon Raiders will be out. We assume Fire Emblem is probably going to be out. What are they going to bring to Gamescom? The for sure thing that I think that is probably going to be there is going to be the Dust Bloods. But Zach, what else do you think Nintendo could be bringing to Gamescom later this year?
I think it depends on whether or not we really get that June Direct or not. Like, if we get something showing up for the summer, then I think Gamescom is just going to be like a PAX kind of experience where they're just showing up and saying, hey, and let you play some stuff hands-on if you want. While fucking if that like doesn't happen in June, we're just going to get a crazy big stage announcement, and that's going to be nuts. I can't really see it play out any other way. Like fucking, I mean, this year has already gone so weirdly for Nintendo. Like everything that I thought that they were going to do, they just haven't. Like they've broken their own routine essentially, because all the fans were like, okay, Switch 2 is out. You're going to give us a March Direct and we're going to figure this out. And then like stuff kind of showed up late. And then like, okay, you're going to give us another thing and announce Star Fox, and we're going to get ready for this. And then nothing happened. And we're just sitting here still like, what is the second year of Switch 2? Now we are halfway through the year, almost halfway through the year, and that picture is getting a lot clearer on like what they're planning to do here. But
yeah,
I still don't really fucking know what the end of the year looks like. And I'm pretty sure all Switch 2 owners are kind of sitting here being like, what are you guys going to release by the end of this year? Because like I got Star Fox and Splatoon Raiders on my list, but like what's the holiday title? Like where is all this stuff going? Because they've got to mention something. They always do. They want to take advantage of that like time for sales. So like there's going to be a thing, but like what is it? And they should have announced something by now. And yeah, it's just a weird situation all around. I really don't know where this is going at that point. And I think they might be playing with everybody because we've gotten so used to the idea of this routine of like we have direct here, or direct here, because this is the way that they've been behaving since the Wii U era, essentially.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just them finally going like, you've expected this too much. And so we are purposely going to be different from now on and just do things our own way again. And none of the release cadences are going to make sense. Yeah, just because we've all gotten used to the schedule, so they're just trying to throw everybody off. But the schedule somewhat has to play out accordingly because these are just like general business tactics to move with the economy. And so like you have to drop stuff at certain times. Like that's just the way that the world has decided we all collectively work. But when you talk about those things happening, like you can do that whenever you want. So I think Nintendo is fucking playing into that hard.
Yeah, and I think their partners also really like them doing directs as well because it's exposure for them. Because a number of games get their first show like in a direct sometimes, whether it be a standard or a partner direct. Like Monster Hunter Stories 3 was first shown in a partner direct last summer. So I think from things that I've heard, the partners really do like them to highlight their games in directs, which is why they pay for that exposure. But you're absolutely right. We don't know what the second half of the year is bringing. They've conditioned us to expect directs in February, June, and September. I honestly am not convinced that we get a June direct at this point in time. I just don't know. I would love it. I think we need it. It'd be nice to know what else we can get excited for the rest of this year and early next year. But the way that they've been moving here recently, who the fuck knows what they're going to do? They could show up on a random Monday and say, hey, here's a direct in 10 minutes, like they just did with that Star Fox direct. I think Pokemon coming out in 2027 and not in 2026 completely threw everything off the rails. And with that announcement, nobody really has any expectations of what could happen or what's going to happen outside of whatever Nate the Hate has leaked recently, which Star Fox was right. We'll see if Zelda's right too. I'm just, if Zelda's real, which I believe it is, what the fuck does it look like?
Yeah. I still think that there's a really good chance that it's probably just Ocarina of Time 64 again, and just really good graphics. Thanks to the new Star Fox game going in that route. I think maybe Nintendo has decided that that game is too sacred to actually change, when the other thing could have happened instead, where they could have played with their two formulas a lot and we could get some really cool results out of it. But maybe that's like them going, you know what? that deserves to be its own thing and not a remake of our most beloved video game of all time. So that's where I land on that. I really want to see them play with Ocarina of Time and try to mix those two formulas together, but I feel like they probably won't at this point.
I feel like I'm with you. I feel like they really should. I feel like let's just shake it up. Just completely change everything. Rauru is a Birdman from the Zonai in this game. There's links to Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Like I just want them to completely redo and reset the whole fucking timeline. Just Skyward Sword was them starting from scratch. Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild came out. That's in a new era. Everything that comes out after that is in that era as well. I really want them to shake it up. I want them to do something completely insane, completely different, because I don't want to go into it with the expectation that I'm playing just the N64 game again, even though I know that's what Star Fox is. Yeah, exactly. I 100% will.
I will play it, but I will think like there was some cooler opportunities you could have taken here.
But it's just that game for me doesn't work in 2026 because Hyrule Field in that game is very boring and barren. You just got to do some different stuff. Like the cutscenes got to be expanded upon, and there's got to be voice acting because now you've conditioned me to believe every Zelda game is going to have voice acting now. So I'll play it. I'll be disappointed if it is the same game that I played 30 years ago. Almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, I will be a little disappointed if it is just Ocarina of Time again. Although, like, I don't know, because you could do, depending on the direction they take the art style, I'm either gonna go like, fuck, you could have done something so awesome with this, or I'm like, you know what, I'm happy that you just remade it twice. Because because now that Twilight Princess is fucking out on a decompilation project and I'm playing through that game again on whatever the hell I want because the port is cool. I want to see, because Twilight Princess is like supposed to be the grown-up, more mature, modern version of what Ocarina of Time was, but redone a little bit and then mixed in some of that darker tone and given it more life. And so I'm still sitting here dying for that art style to return. And so if they do bring back that darker, like, fantasy style back to Zelda and glow it up a shit ton from Ocarina of Time, if it gets that art style and they do not take the opportunity to merge the two gameplay formulas together, I'm going to freak out. Because that's literally what I want them to do.
Only if it looks like that tech demo from the Wii U looks.
Exactly.
That's the
and
only
they
way
push that a little bit
Yeah.
further and make it more like what today could possibly be. And so if they give me that art style and they don't play with the Ocarina of Time formula, I'm gonna fucking be super pissed, because that means that art style is not coming back into another Zelda game. Like, they're just gonna go, and this was it, because that's what they do. They get really addicted to an art style for a little bit, and then when the next incarnation comes along, they switch it up again. And there has been a progression since fucking Skyward Sword that has kind of taken them to where they are now. But those flips I loved as a kid, and so I really hope that they are willing to flip hard again, because every time they flip in from cartoony to dark fantasy, like, it fucking makes everything feel so unique. And if they waste that art style on a game that I think is just kind of like not that fantastic, it will kind of suck. Because I totally agree, Hyrule Field's like amazing for the time period, because you couldn't do that stuff back then. That was impressive. But now Hyrule Fields feels like less like fields and like a field. Like, there's not it's a singular thing. Like, there's not more to it. Like, it should be greater than this. Yeah.
And because as a kid, it felt amazing. And then when you got to Twilight Princess, you're just like, man, like, this is what Hyrule Field became after playing Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. And now you get to fucking Breath of the Wild, and you're like, fuck me, dude. You did what? So not giving you that same feeling now would just be a total missed opportunity.
That's why I'm very curious. If this game's being developed by Monolith Soft, I think we're going to be in for a wild ride. I think they are.
See, that's why, that's what makes me think that there's still a really good chance that is possible, because Monolith Soft, being the guys that designed Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom's worlds, and they were given all of the access to a legacy Zelda title, that makes me think that there's a good chance they must have taken another step. But now we have a lot of good evidence, thanks to Star Fox, that they're like, fuck, dude, they really could just be remaking it again. And because it's like a sacred cow, they don't want to sacrifice that thing. So, like, I don't know. Like, there's a really good chance that more is coming, but also, like, there's a real good possibility that they're not, that they think it's too good to change without doing anything.
Gosh, I really hope that they do not have that mindset.
We
got to see it. Like, we got to... We need this June direct.
See it. Yeah. Whatever
we
it
got to
is.
see this.
We
got to see Mario. Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 4, if that's a real project coming out this year, like I'm hopeful. But yeah, we got to get to this new finish line, this new goalpost that the internet has now set up for us. Breaking news. Let's get into that real quick. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, has a new prologue demo. You can move your save file over to the actual game. That game comes out in about 3 weeks' time. It's definitely between 1 and 5 on my most anticipated games for the summer. So go check that out and let us know what you think of it. I will be playing that when I go hit the treadmill. Other than that, that's all the news that I got for this evening. Zach, do you have any other news topics before we wrap this show up?
Yeah, I have a good news topic that I'm sad that we're kind of saving this for the end, or I guess I'm happy that we're saving. It's bad news.
Oh, no.
Rest in peace to Mr. Tom Kane, if you were anyone who is aware of that man. He recently passed out today. Or passed away today, not passed out. He went all the way. He's now in our good beyond. Dang, man. I feel like this is probably just because getting older, but all of my legends are like passing away lately, and this is another one of those people that I'm like, you fucking were part of half my childhood, playing from characters all over the place. Like, the most notable one for me was the professor for, I can't remember the name. Why is my brain blanking on it? I'm looking at him right now.
He's been in so
Powerpuff
much.
Girls. Yeah, the fucking professor from Powerpuff Girls. The other one was he's the narrator for the Clone Wars for Star Wars. There's like millions of voices that this guy did, and he was kind of an icon for all of that. And like many amazing voice actors he gave so much life to the millions of characters that he voiced. And then when you look up his actual like portfolio, you're like, dang, like you did all of this. So rest in peace to a legend, like genuinely made the world a better place for his work. And it sucks that we have to say goodbye, but his legacy was fucking amazing. So thank you, Tom. Thanks.
Man, he was in Arkham.
All over the place. It's like unbelievable the amount of stuff that guy did.
Did not realize he was Darwin in Wild Thornberries. That's incredible. Give a hoopla for Tom Kane today. Go play one of the games that he's been in. Like that's what we all should do, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Play.
He was in fucking Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends as that bunny butler. I can't remember his name. That was a big one. Arkham stuff is fucking super cool.
He's been all over the place. Rest in peace,
the
Tom
big
Kane.
Ones are totally the Clone Wars and Professor from Powerpuff Girls for me. Like that really sucks. That was definitely my first introduction to him from what I can remember being that. So rest in peace to Tom Kane.
He was he was in like all of cartoon, like at least at some point in all of the main Cartoon Network shows. Cow and Chicken, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. Oh, he fucking plays Yoda in the Star Wars Clone Wars, like the original miniseries. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty dope. Oh, he was Yoda and Robot Chicken as well, the Star Wars episode 2.
That really? No way.
All right, yeah. Well, rest in peace, Mr. Tom Kane. You will be missed. Thank you for the many years of
Mr. Harry
impacting our childhoods and adulthoods.
Yeah, he rules.
All right, Zach. Well, that's all that we got for today's show. Let the audience know where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can catch me here every Monday night. You can also check me out at zfisher9. That is where I post weekly uploads of whatever topic comes to my weird-ass brain during that time period. I do my best to cover just the shit that I'm interested in, but every now and then I might go, oh, that's topical, and I gotta say something. But you can see me there. You can also check me out at itch.io at zf5150, where I have a free demo of a video game that you can go play on Windows or Steam Deck of your choice between the two. So yeah, catch me at those places. Most likely though, you'll probably see me at ZF9 right now. That's Zach Fisher 9 is where I'm posting the majority of my stuff these days, and I kind of got a gut feeling that I just need to keep doing that, so I'm just going to keep doing that for a while.
You absolutely should keep doing it because you're fucking amazing at it. And
thanks.
It's been so awesome just to like see like the interactions that you've been getting on your videos. And I'm just like, man, like that's incredible.
Yeah, so, that please fucking generation one blew up. The last two I posted did not do well, and it bums me out because I knew that when that generations one exploded, it was going to be this like, oh, now I have to compare myself to myself for a while, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get back to that spot, but we will try. I'm going to keep doing it until who knows when.
Exactly. Like, you already know the game. Just keep playing it. Keep putting cards in the deck.
Yeah.
And there you go. Well, I'm here every Monday. JT's Gaming Mayhem. Hit that subscribe button. Support all of us on all our channels because we need it. Like, the dream is to not show up to a corporate office ever again. And if we could do that here, we'll fucking do it. But until then, folks, this Friday, we got Tales of Arise coming out. I will be playing probably the first hour and a half of that exclusively on the treadmill. So you can come hang out with me as I go for a walk through Arise. I don't want to call it that. I'll figure out a name some point this week. But we got that rolling on, but on Friday. So come hang out, support, donate to Patreon if you want to support us financially. But until then, folks, stay safe, tell somebody you love them, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace. Oh, where's the mouse? There we go.